Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I remember when I was a child, me and Mum used to catch the 7:30 coach from here to Dagenham. It was the London Express, used to come through here and stop off in Chelmsford and stop off in Romford. So we would catch it at 7:30 down at the Eastern National Bus Station down the High Street, and we would go to Braintree where we would stop and pick up some more passengers, and we would then go off to Romford where we would stop in Romford. But on the way we'd stop and pick up more people all of the way. The journey took 4 hours, and you can actually get to Dagenham in about an hour. Even in those days you could. But it took 4 hours to get up there. We arrived in Romford about half 11, something like that, where we then had to get off the coach and we would wait for a 175 bus, which would take us up to Dagenham Heathway, where we would get off and we would then walk up the road, and we would walk to where my grandma and granddad lived. On the way we would pass a greengrocer on the corner. He was there every single day of the week. That's where my grandma bought her fruit and vegetables. We'd walk down the Banjo. Now, for those of you who don't know what a banjo is, in Dagenham they have lots of roads that are in the shape of a banjo. They go straight down. They're no through roads, so you can only turn round. So there's a circle at the end, so you go down and go round like that and come out the way you come in. And they're called banjos. And there's quite a lot of them in Dagenham. And my grandparents lived at the bottom of the banjo, and we'd go in, and my grandma would have been getting dinner ready at that time. My granddad would be in the front room getting the table ready, because it was lunchtime by the time we got there, and my granddad would have put the knives and forks and the salt and pepper and the sauce bottle and the butter, loaf of bread on the table, ready for dinner. And then my grandma would be in the kitchen and she would be cooking maybe sausages, and we'd have baked beans, and she'd have potatoes. Now, these potatoes are some of the nicest potatoes I have ever had in my life, if not the nicest. She bought all of her fruit and veg on the stall up the road that we passed on the way to Grandma's. And this stall, when you bought a potato, it doesn't really matter whether it was a potato or a carrot, any vegetables, they were all root crops that were covered in a thick layer of dirt, black dirt. And he would pick them up, put them in a bag and go like that, brown paper bag, and Grandma would take them home. And she never peeled a potato, ever. Now, when you peel a potato, all the goodness on a potato, like this one for instance, all the goodness on a potato is just below the skin. So when you peel it, you're peeling off all the goodness and the potato peel at the same time. So you're putting all the goodness in the bin and you're left with a blob of starch, basically. So my grandma never peeled a potato, ever. The dirt that was on the potato is what gave the potato a fantastic flavour. It did. A lovely flavour. I've never had potatoes flavoured like it, ever. And she would wash the potatoes, not peel them, boil them, and we would have them at the table. She'd serve them up with sausages and baked beans or something like that. Something very simple, really. But the earth on the potato had penetrated the outside of the potato, and it added a flavour that you cannot get in the shops today, quite simply because when you buy them in the shops, they are cleaned, they are scrubbed within an inch of their lives, they are sterile, and they've got no flavour to them, they've got no taste to them at all. But they had this earthy, tasty flavour to them. They were lovely. I have never had potatoes like it, to be honest, since then, even though I've tried to grow them, and they never ever come out the same as hers. Never ever, they didn't. But they were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so by the time we'd had dinner, and by the time that we'd washed up and everything, it was nearly time to go home again. We only had a brief period of time, because we had to be back at Romford at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to catch the London Express back home again. And we didn't get back here until, 7 o'clock in the evening? It was a long day for just a 2-hour visit, really, it was. But it was the potatoes that I remember. And it is now potato planting time. So all the gardeners out now are now planting seed potatoes now. Their first early crop, that is. So anyway, thank you for watching. See you all again very soon. Bye for now.